How you doing there?
Pretty good.
Okay, tell me about yourself and what do you do?
Well, my name's Alan. I do construction. I work for a company in Monroe. We do poured walls, concrete, foundations, basically for different companies, realtors.
Oh, for realtors. What's like so how often do you work for construction? You said company.
Yeah.
And how did you get the job? You just like fill out application or what?
Went in, filled out the application, talked to the owner, and he gave me a chance.
I gave you a chance?
Yep.
That's great. So what was your first job?
Stripping down a wall. We had to take all the parts off the wall and make sure that it's not green, which means that the concrete's still soft, and then load up the panel truck.
And how hard of a job was that usually?
Pretty laborious. Any one of them panels can weigh anywhere between 100 to 250 pounds.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. That's a lot. So anyway, have you done like mostly houses where people are like moving into or what?
Brand new houses. We'll go in, we'll set up what's called footers, basically for the walls to sit on. And then once that's done, we'll go in, put it on the panels, pour the concrete in them, then they'll build the houses right on top of them. Brand new houses.
Brand new houses, really?
Yeah.
So you don't do anything like when people are moving into a house or whatever, you don't do anything like that?
No, we actually don't interact with any of the people that are living in the house.
Really? Now, so people are like living in there when you go in there automatically?
No, when the houses are done is when they move in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever had to like have you ever been asked to do work like when people are already like inside the house?
A couple other companies I've worked for, yeah.
Okay. And how usually is that? Because I know somebody who, like, they'll have like half the house blocked off, and then like people be like the people be like in the living room, and like then they'll be like in the kitchen or wherever. But I'll see it like blocked off. So I know how difficult it is. Like they split the house in half and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like people who live there will be on one half, the workers be on the other half.
Yeah.
Sometimes because sometimes they're trying to take a while to finish that whole thing up.
Sometimes it can be. A lot of times they'll get in the way of us working. Makes it a lot more difficult. But we just try to work around it and get the job done.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Now, you enjoy doing the construction work?
I do and I don't.
You do and you don't?
Summertime, I mean, it's good money, it's good work, it's steady, a lot of long hours, but a lot of times the heat will get to you. When it comes down to wintertime itself, there's a lot of, the workers that get sick, and a lot of us just call off for the rest of winter. Some of us just stick through it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. So you got this job here, and you done a lot of roofing or anything like that?
I've done some, yeah.
Okay, and how's that job like?
Carrying the shingles up, it can be a pain. A lot of times our bosses will have us carry 3 or 4 stacks of shingles up, put them on the roof, and then go back down and grab some more.
Oh, really? Now shingles, though, tell people what, I always hear that as like shingles. Now what are shingles? Explain to the people who don't know it. Who they probably do know, I'm sure, but explain what shingles actually are.
Alright, there's different types of shingles. You got your slate shingles. You got your standard shingles, which is on your basic roof. When you're going down the road, you look over, you see the roof. It's just kind of like gray or dark brown, black. And then you have your slate shingles. Those are the ones where if you're going down the road, you see the house. It looks like it's ribbed on top of the roof. Mm-hmm. Those are a lot more difficult to work with because they're actually made of clay, and a lot of times they'll have prefabbed holes put into them, which you got to put screws in instead of nails. Your standard shingles. It's more tedious work because you have to put the shingles on perfectly. If you don't, you're not going to get the proper look to the top of your house.
Really?
Yeah.
Really. Now, what have you seen some like ridiculous? How I put this? Some ridiculous like work as far as like shingles wise. Have you seen some people do some like really ridiculous work? You think, oh God.
I've actually had a buddy. We used to work at Ray St. Clair's Roofing. And we went on a job down in Cincinnati, and when we got there, the guy had actually went up and painted his roof with hot tar. And well, he kept getting leaks, and we kept trying to explain to him that the tar will eat through the wood and through most of your ceiling frame. And he just wasn't having it and wanted us to put shingle over the tar. We kept explaining to him, that's going to make the job 10 times worse, and the best thing he can do is just get a spray tar and go right back over and over again. and it ended up costing the guy probably about $25,000 just to get his roof done.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
You know, do you have any kids?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering, like, how do you think they would ever like get into construction like you or whatever? I've heard of people like I've heard of family businesses and stuff like that.
Well, I've got a 6-year-old and a 5-year-old boy.
That's a while. That's a while, but still.
Well, yeah. They're smart. They're actually advanced beyond their schooling age. And my oldest, he wants to get into bodyguard, bounty hunter type stuff. I guess he watches Dog the Bounty Hunter all the time.
Bouncer, maybe, like a bar or something.
Maybe. My youngest, he's more the technological geek, I guess you could say. He loves taking things apart, figuring out how they work, putting them together. He's staying with some friends of ours in Cincinnati. Both of our boys are staying with some friends of ours in Cincinnati right now because I'm working all around and everything, and my old lady works. And it's just trying to find time with them. It becomes difficult with the job. I mean, like I said, we work anywhere between 12 to 16 hours a day. And on an average, coming home, you get to spend maybe 3-4 hours with the kids, and you have to go to sleep and then go right back to work.
You have days off there, don't you?
Yeah, unless it's mandatory. Sometimes when it's mandatory, you only get like 1 day off, and that'd be on Sunday. 1 day off?
Yeah, well, that's not bad. Typical Sunday. What was the day? What's like the best day you like to have off? I mean, what's like the one day you probably would want to have off out the week?
Probably Friday night.
Yeah.
Get the paychecks in, get to go out, and just forget about the rest of the week.
Well, they're kind of young right now. Well, the kid, my boys might be in preschool. I'm just saying. I mean, Friday night. I mean, no school like next day and everything else, and the kids out.
Well, usually we take our kids out to like Chuck E. Cheese, little park, zoo, stuff like that, just to get them out of the house. I
used to love that place when I was a kid, Chuck E. Cheese. Well, actually, I went there a lot for birthdays when I was small. Probably when I was like 6, 7, 8 years old. Then I went back when I was like 13, and I'm like,
there's nothing. The same.
It's nothing to do here anymore. But first of all, I was too tall, because you take a look at my height now, so you can imagine me what height I was when I was 13 years old. I mean, you got to be a certain height and everything to get on some of those things, rides, and the thing of balls, where you got the big thing of balls, you jump in and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 13, I was like, this ain't fun no more.
Well, my kids are small. I mean, they're maybe like 3 foot tall at the most at the moment. So that's like Wonder Playland for them. I take them up there, they get in there, and I end up having to actually go searching for them because they will try to hide and stay there. And getting them out's just a pain in the ass.
What stuff do you usually like to watch on YouTube and stuff?
Usually dealing with automobile racing. Sometimes the more prank type stuff. I always get ideas from that, especially for work. We prank each other a lot at work.
Oh, what kind of stuff do you do?
Well,
prank-wise,
like putting a hammer in the wall. Once we get so far down, they're continuously looking for the hammer. Then they realize that it's 9 foot down into a wall that they can't get to, and then they have to go through trying to figure out how to get the panel off just to get the hammer out. Or one time there was 5 of us on a job. We did this to our foreman. We all went out there. He started setting up, and we all just walked over into the woods and just sat down and just waited for him to look around and see what was going on. Then he started hollering for us, and he thought he was the only one there working. That we all just up and left. Then that was actually on April Fool's, and he felt like an ass afterwards. He kept saying nobody can fool him, but we got him.
Now, also that first pic I seen of you there, the first pic where you were like staying in, I think you were like staying in, like you had the white hat on, you were staying in, you're staying somewhere. It looked like there was a bunch of stuff. Obviously, you're probably on the job, I guess. You know what I'm talking about? You sent me a pic.
Oh yeah.
So I saw a pic of you. Where was that taken at? What job were you doing? You remember?
I believe that was in. I want to say Monroe Cross. No, what Monroe Crossings? It was one of the new developments over there on Liberty Fairfield.
Oh.
Liberty Fairfield.
Is that by Bridgewater Falls?
Yeah, over by Shell, actually.
Bridgewater Falls. Bridgewater Falls, Best Buy, and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, it was before that. Right when you get into the Liberty Fairfield area, there's a Shell, then a Kroger. If you turn right, you went down, there's a new development that sits there on the left. Got bored. It was my first day on the job. Decided to take a picture, post it, tell everybody, hey, I got a job. Kind of throw in people's faces, some of them.
hurt people's faces, really.
Yeah.
You look pissed in the picture.
No, it was just one of those days.
Yeah, it's one of those days. Or it's a bad
First day
time.
on the job, you know, you got things going on at home, and then you got to go to work and knowing that you have to deal with the stuff when you come back home. And it was just one thing after another.
Okay, now let's see your tool belt here. What kind of stuff you got here on your tool belt?
Got belt. We got pouches. There's actually, I think like 6 or 8 pouches. I don't just do put up walls at work too. They jump us around a little bit, but I have more of the experience on most of them. We do what's called waterproofing. That takes like dimple board. It's like gray plastic that we put around the outside of the wall to keep water from coming into the basement. A lot of times when pouches will be full of nails and green gas cartridges, which power the guns that we use to put the nails into the concrete. Then we use clips to hold up the dimple board. Let's see. Another job is doing the footers. A lot of times I'll have a hammer and then a crowbar on the other side to get the footers loose. That's pretty difficult work doing the footers.
Really? Now the footers are basically...
They're concrete blocks that the walls stand on.
No, they're not the concrete things you like. You know what I'm saying? Like you get these concrete blocks here, like say, I don't know how you describe them. They look like bricks basically, and you pick them up.
No, it's one solid piece.
Oh,
go
Jesus
in, we pour the concrete
Christ.
into forms. It's all made by 2x4s. And we got rods and pins that hold these boards in place. And then we'll go around, knock the pins loose after about 2 hours because it'll start to set. And then once that's fully cured and dried, they'll actually we'll come back in and put the panels on top of that concrete block and start forming the wall on top of that.
Oh, cool.
So it kind of all like holds itself together once you get it done.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. So anyway, what kind of jobs do you have coming up?
It's kind of random. Usually we'll go down to Stony Ridge in Cincinnati. There's a couple places in Dayton and Xenia we go to, Vandalia. We get around a lot. The farthest we've ever gone was into Kentucky, and that was for a guy that used to work for the government. We don't know what he was trying to have us do with this house, but it's probably the most horrible job any of us has been on. It took 2 weeks when a standard house usually takes about a day.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, there were so many forms we had to put up, so many panels. It got so ridiculous that half of us just took the weeks off just so we didn't have to do the job. It takes about, it depends on how far it is from the actual office, anywhere between 30-45 minutes.
Wow.
Once we get there, we start setting up the panels. We start from one corner, start working over to another corner, and start working forward. The part that makes it difficult is that we got these pins and we got wedges that we got to put the pin through the 2 pieces of panel, then put the wedge to hold the panels together. Because if those aren't held together, when they start pouring the concrete, it'll buckle and just collapse on you.